Hi friends, this is Mayla. I'm back with another video. Today we are indoors because this is Wednesday evening, and I have some things to do, but it is storming. The storms are rolling in as we speak. It is dark outside. It's raining off and on, and within the next 2 to 3 hours, the main line of storms and winds and hail and tornadoes should be right here on top of where I live. But I still need to get some things done. I went out earlier on my lunch break and dug up my lavender plants. I bought 3 big planters back in the fall, and I had every intention on digging them up in the fall and putting them in the planters to put out, because I have learned my lesson with lavender. I love it. I love the smell of it. I love the look of it, but it does not work well with my soil on my property, because in my backyard, I have too much standing water. So I have killed maybe 5 or 6 lavender, and they aren't the cheapest. So, but this is my last ditch effort on having a plant that I love so much on my property. So I have 3. I had 3. One of them is half dead, so I purchased another one. So I now have 3 and a half, and I have 3 big nice planters that I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to go ahead and put them in the planters, and I'm going to sit them out in the landscape where they will go. So I'm going to bring you guys along with me while I get that done today. While it's storming outside, we can be inside and still garden. Guys, I hope the lighting is not too bad. Like I said, it's dark and very cloudy outside, so that's why the lighting looks bad in here. But let me show you what I have. This is the lavender that I purchased, and it's the Phenomenal. And Phenomenal Lavender is supposed to be the best for the southeast. So, oh, it smells so good. That's what I got. And then here are the ones that I dug up from outside earlier. This is one. This is the second one. And this is the one that's half dead. See, this side is dead, but there is still a little green here. So we might try to cut off some of this dead part and see what we got left. Here are the planters that I have. Purchased them from Target last year. They are the same Kante brand. I hope I'm saying that right. Kante or Kante. Not sure, it's Kante. I will link them. It's a low profile, but it's huge. I will link this in the description below. But each one of these, I believe, was $39.99, $40 for this. And it's like that concrete, heavy, durable look. Can't beat it. They have them on Amazon also, but I think on Amazon it was more expensive. So I purchased 3 of those, and it has the hole in the bottom, which is going to be needed for the lavender. So I am going to drop the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to get started with potting up these 3 lavender. So these planters came with a plug for the hole on the bottom, but that's if you're like using it in your indoors. So we are not going to use these plugs because we want the water to drain. One more thing I want to let you know that I'm going to be using. I purchased this off of Amazon, and I'll link this also below. This is like, it says replacement window screen, and it's like a big huge I don't know the measurements of what exactly it is, but it's a big, huge sheet of like a window screen, with like the mesh window screen. And I used to use those little small round ones that I purchased off Amazon to cover up the holes in the bottom of my pot so that the soil doesn't fall out of it, but the water can still drain, and then also so the roots won't grow through the hole. But sometimes the holes in the bottom of my planters were bigger than the little small rings that I had. So I purchased this, and I'm just gonna cut it to the size that I need. So I'll probably cut a big square section out of each one of these and put in the bottom of each one of these planters. So I'll show you that. That's better. So I'm just gonna use scissors. I just cut a square. I'm just gonna put in the bottom. And I will do that 3 times. The last one. And we still have all of this left. I mean, I don't think I'll ever have to buy another one of these. And I'm just using regular old Miracle Gro potting soil, potting mix. And you notice I'm not putting any biotone in here like I normally do, because lavender does not like fertilizer either. Now, I think maybe I can throw a little bit maybe next year, like next spring. I might throw a little bit on top of the ground, but I'm not gonna put anything down in the bottom near the roots system. I've learned my lesson with lavender, and also sedum. Sedum doesn't like fertilizer either. Let's go get more soil. Would have been good to mix this soil with a little gravel, pea gravel rocks for the extra drainage, but it'll be okay. As long as it's not sitting underneath the ground in wet soil. I don't know if I want to top this off with mulch or some rocks. I do still have some bagged, some big river rock that I can put on top of here. But once this base of this gets big, you won't even be able to see the soil. might just leave it like this. Oh, those are the sirens. You hear the sirens? I don't know how much more of this I can do. Our sirens are going off. Let's try to get this last one. I found a smaller pot with a hole for this little one. And I'm gonna cut all the dead off and we'll see how this does. So I cut all the dead off and I left this here, and it's a little bit of root left. So we will see what happens. I gotta go get some, oh no, here's some. Here we go. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you guys what we have. And then I will just sit these in the garage for tonight and take them out tomorrow and show you guys how they look in the spot that they're gonna go in tomorrow. All right, so this is what we have. Here are the three Phenomenal Lavender that I have potted up, and then the one that we're trying to limp along. This is the new one. This is the new one that I just purchased. These two were planted out in the landscape. I dug them up. And then this one, it's got a little bit of green left. So we're hoping that this may do better being in this pot and get bigger. So we're gonna put it in a lot of sunlight and see how they do. Hopefully this is the trick for me to have some success in one of my favorite plants, the Phenomenal Lavender. So you guys, I want to thank you guys for coming along with me to garden indoors, even while it's storming outside. our garden tasks don't stop, especially in the springtime. So I figured that was something that I could do inside. So decided today that I was going to go outside, dig them up, and get that done. So I will tomorrow, once it stops raining. Well, I'm not sure because it's supposed to rain for the next like 4 days straight. When I can get out there to take these out in the landscape where they're gonna go, I will go out. I will record how it looks there, and I'll show you guys next. Hi friends, I'm back and this is Sunday morning. I guess you guys can tell that the audio is not working, so I'm having to record over this section. It wasn't until I turned my camera around that I realized the microphone wasn't already plugged in. But here I was just talking about how it has rained continuously for the past 4 days, and I haven't been able to get out to show you guys the phenomenal lavender that I put out in the landscape that I potted up on Wednesday evening. We have had a lot of storms, thunderstorms, lightning, flash flooding, tornadoes in the area that have caused a lot of people a lot of damage. And so I want to just send my condolences to all those people that have lost everything and that are picking up the pieces. There has also been loss of life in the area. So I want to say a prayer or send my prayers out to those families that are dealing with that as well. But with that, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you guys what I have put out in the landscape. And here's the lavender. This is where I dug up the lamb's ear. They were spaced out a little bit. There was one over there, and there was one in the middle, and then there was one over there. But I decided, since I'm putting them into the 3 pots, I'm just going to put all 3 of them here. And I won't bring back my mandevilla vines. They're going to go somewhere else in the garden. But I want them to go here. And you know, phenomenal lavender, they get upwards of like 3 feet tall and wide. So I will at some point have to space the pots out some, like move that one over a little bit and that one over a little bit. I'll probably come up to the bottom of the windowsill. I also have plans to put here, attach a rain collector, big pot I have right here, and cut into the gutter so that we can collect rain, because as you see, we have a soppy mess. It is yesterday, we still have standing water, but yesterday, like all over here was like standing water on my walkway. The water came up over the pavers, and it was just solid water all along this side of my house, and also all along this backyard. You see, water comes down, it slopes down, and then it settles right here, and then it eventually drains out along my fence line on the other side of my house. But we have got to figure out what we're gonna do with this water issue. But right now it's not in the budget. I think the fix would probably be to dig a trench and put in some type of drainage system that will go all along the side of my house and take it out to the street. But that is not in the budget for this year. So my husband and I will continue to talk about it and see what the best option is for us. So yeah, I just decided to bring you guys out, show you where I put the phenomenal lavender. Hopefully we will have good success with them being in a pot instead of in the ground. And this is the last thing I am not buying anymore. I have those 3, and then I have the small one that I put into that tiny one that I tried to save that was almost dead, and we'll put that somewhere else where it'll get a lot of sun, and see if I can rehab it and bring it back, and if it gets bigger, I'll put it into a bigger pot. But I'm not doing it anymore. Lavender is too finicky. especially in the south. So, and then in my area and my heavy clay soil, we just hold way too much water, and lavender likes to be dry, and there is nowhere on my property where it's really dry like that. So I believe the pots is probably my best option, and if that doesn't work, then I'm done. Even though I love phenomenal lavender or lavender period, I'm not going to try again. But with that, I want to thank you guys for stopping by to support my channel, whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening when you're watching this. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, guys.